500 subscribers. Yahoo! That's great. That's great, guys, and thanks. Thanks a lot for that. It means a lot. It really does mean a lot to me. And to celebrate, once again, let's do a list. And this list is of my top 5 alternative westerns. And by alternative, it means a lot of things. It means that don't feature the same characteristics of spaghetti western and more classic westerns. They are more underrated, they're more unknown, so let's shed some light to some really great westerns that you probably have never heard about, or you heard about them but you haven't seen them. So let's start. First up, we have probably the more known movie of this list, and the alternative thing is that it is a horror western. I'm talking about Tomahawk, starring Kurt Russell and Patrick Wilson. And this movie is definitely not for everyone for 2 main reasons. The first 2 acts of the movie are really slow, really slow, and it focuses quite a lot on character development. And the third act of the movie is crazy violent, especially one scene in particular that has gone down in movie history as one of the most brutal killings and death scenes in a mainstream movie. So go into it knowing these things. It's a very cool story about cannibals that kidnap a girl and some other people from a village, and 4 people, the sheriff, vice sheriff, the husband of the girl was kidnapped, and just a gentleman. They go on this quest to try and find them. It's a very well executed movie, a very dark movie, very violent, very gritty, and different from most westerns because it's a horror movie with cannibals. Yeah, go watch it. Next up is a sci-fi western. Yeah, I'm talking about Serenity, because probably most of you new kids, let's say, but whatever your age is, Joss Whedon, who is more famous for directing the first 2 Avengers movies, he was actually famous for doing multiple stuff before that, especially Buffy the Vampire Slayer and 1 season of just 1 TV show that was loved by a lot of people, but it didn't get enough viewings, so we never got a 2nd season. The show is Firefly. And to close things up, there was a movie made about it, which is pretty much the only sequel we will ever get. And it stars Nathan Fillion, more famous for Castle and other roles, and this is a truly fun sci-fi western movie. I recommend you watch this TV show before it, because otherwise some things won't make as much sense, but still, I'm not going to spoil anything about it. It's a fun ride. It's a very different western because it's in space, but it's a western nonetheless, and I recommend you check it out immediately after we've watched the first and only season of the show. Damn television networks, always cancelling good shit. Third is an Australian western. Honestly, I don't think there are that many of this genre, but still, The Proposition, directed by John Hillcoat and starring Guy Pearce, is a truly outstanding western because it is dark, brutal, unflinching, borderline depressing movie to watch. There is really no moment of joy in it. The violence is sudden, it's gory, even though there isn't as much as in other movies, it still hits home pretty darn hard. The story is incredibly compelling. It's about an outlaw who has 2 brothers. One of the brothers gets taken by the sheriff, and in order to let this brother be saved, who is the little brother of the group, the outlaw has to find his older brother, who is a mean-ass motherfucker, and he has to kill him. So that's the proposition that the sheriff makes to this outlaw. And from then on we get a lot of grey characters. There's no good character or bad character. The sheriff, who seems bad in the beginning, is actually kind of a good guy in certain ways, and our hero, the outlaw, does some really nasty shit or has done them in the past. And the music is also great by Nick Cave. It's a great movie and I watched it recently and it's definitely among my favorite westerns right now, and I think you should check it out as well. Not many people are talking about it. The director is more famous for directing The Road, Lawless and this year's 999, but this one is probably his best movie, so go see it. Then we got a western drama, and by drama I mean a lot of talking, slow-paced, but still a magnificent and hugely underrated western. The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. This movie is... it's near perfect. From the cinematography by Roger Deakins, the acting, we have Brad Pitt's best performance and Casey Affleck delivering a great performance as Robert Ford, and it's one of those movies where you already know how it's going to end. It's in the title, it's in history books. Jesse James is killed by Robert Ford. But how do we get there? And what is the movie about? Well, the movie is more about the deconstruction of celebrity, of stardom, because we've always had this fascination with famous people and we tend to idolize them, to make them legends. And was Jesse James that great of a legend? Well, not really. And once you start seeing that who you idolized for your entire life is not as great as you thought he was, you get pretty darn sad. It has happened many times, even recently with multiple people accused of rape and murder trials, whatever. You start seeing that there is a human being behind the celebrity. And some people don't like that. And this is a truly great movie. It's very slow, know that. It's slow, but it's totally worth your time. And then, last but most certainly not least, one of my personal favorite movies that I've discovered this year, one of the best action westerns out there, one of my personal favorite movies of all time. I've already watched it 4 times. It's the South Korean action western, The Good, the Bad, the Weird. This is a hilarious ride, guys. You got the basic premise of The Good, the Bad and the Ugly by Sergio Leone, which is 3 guys are trying to find a treasure. 2 guys cooperate, another guy is trying to find them. And from then on you get a completely different movie from what you might be expecting. There are very well shot and totally fun action sequences, there is some solid ass humor, the characters get more interesting as time goes on. Byung-gun Lee is a memorable villain. I don't remember the guy's name, but the one who plays the Weird is funny as hell and one of the best South Korean actors right now. And the soundtrack is made up of more famous and original songs, and there is a chase scene near the ending of the movie. It's 10 minutes long more or less, but it's truly one of the best chase scenes in movie history. Just thinking about this movie I'm getting chills and I want to watch it again and again. It's endlessly watchable, it's a ton of fun. If you like action in westerns, this is worth your time and it's worth every single second of it. So guys, go out and watch this South Korean masterpiece. So, this was my list of 5 alternative westerns from your usual things. But still, tell me in the comments below, do you agree with me, do you disagree with me? Which are your favorite alternative westerns that aren't just Sergio Leone or the classic John Ford, John Wayne, whatever, or The Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood, none of that things. Even though I love those movies, something more different, something more original. And these are, in my opinion, some of the best original westerns out there. But still, tell me in the comments below your thoughts. Thanks for the 500 subscribers. Thanks as always for watching, and remember to like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.